It was happening for him. He looks at the horizon, vast, endless, golden, and for the first time, he doesn't want to own it. He just wants to witness it, because witnessing is enough. Being is enough. This moment is enough, he whispers to himself. I have arrived, not at a place, but at peace. And with that, the man who once sought the world finally finds himself. You forgive yourself, not because you were right, but because you have learned. Forgiveness is freedom, and freedom is love without fear. When you reach this place, you no longer seek heaven after death. You create it in every breath. The birdsong in the morning, the laughter of a stranger, the warmth of the sun on your face. These are no longer ordinary. They are sacred. You realize to live with awareness is to live with awe. Every moment becomes worship, every act, devotion, every word, a ripple in eternity. The Stoics believed the soul was a spark of divine fire, and that spark is within you still. You are not the body that will decay. You are not the story that will fade. You are the consciousness, watching it all unfold. The body will return to earth, the breath to wind, the spirit to light, and what you have become will remain, not in memory, but in essence, in every act of good you leave behind, in every heart you have touched, in every mind you have awakened. This is the immortality of the Stoic, not endless time, but eternal impact. And when the final dawn comes, and you stand at the edge of the world, you will not beg for more days. You will smile, because you used the ones you had to become who you were meant to be. You will look at the sky one last time, feel the rhythm of your heart, and whisper, it was enough. Enough joy, enough pain, enough life. Because you lived fully, you endured nobly, you loved honestly, and that is all the universe ever asked of you. Marcus Aurelius said, when you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Carry that with you. Carry it always. Let every morning remind you that you are part of something vast and ancient and beautiful. You are a moment in eternity, but an eternal moment nonetheless. So live well, love deeply, endure nobly, forgive quickly, and when your time comes, die peacefully, because you will have already learned the greatest truth of all, that the meaning of life was never hidden in the stars, but whispered within your soul, in every breath, every tear, every act of quiet courage. And in that whisper, you will hear it again, the voice that has guided you all along. You have done well. You can rest now. And in that stillness, you finally will. That is mastery, to feel the emotion, but remain unmoved by it. The world can break around you, and still you stand, gentle, aware, free. Freedom is not loud. It does not shout. It sits quietly, like a mountain that has seen centuries pass and no longer needs to explain its silence. You become like that mountain, rooted, patient, still. And when you speak, you do so from depth, from presence, from love. You no longer chase purpose. You embody it. Purpose is not found in grand gestures, but in how you live the small moments, how you rise when tired, how you forgive when hurt, how you keep faith when life makes no sense. Each act of quiet virtue is a rebellion against chaos. Each moment of discipline is a declaration of freedom. Each breath of gratitude is a prayer to the divine order. And so you live, not for applause, not for reward, but for alignment. Because to live well is reward enough. When the day ends, you no longer fear the night. You sit with it. You thank it. For you know now, the darkness is not against you. It is within you, asking to be understood. You are both the storm and the calm, the fire and the ashes, the question and the answer. And in that knowing, you find rest. The Stoic heart does not harden. It softens wisely. It learns that forgiveness is not a gift to others, but a liberation of the self. You forgive the world, not because it deserves it, but because you deserve peace. Even when the world is unkind, even when chaos surrounds you, because your peace is no longer negotiable. It is sacred ground, earned through tears, guarded by discipline, nourished by silence. When you love now, you love differently. Not to possess, not to complete, but to witness, to share, to understand. Love becomes no longer a fever, but a flame, steady, gentle, enduring. You stop asking, will they stay? And start whispering, Thank you for walking with me this far. Because you know, everything and everyone is passing through. And still, you love. You open your heart, knowing it can break. You speak your truth. Knowing it may be misunderstood, you give. Knowing it may not return. That is not weakness. That is courage. That is mastery. For to love without need is to touch eternity. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." And bravery is not the absence of fear. It is the refusal to be ruled by it. You no longer fear endings. You understand. They are beginnings wearing darker clothes. You no longer fear loss. You see, nothing real can ever be lost. It changes form, but never leaves you. You no longer fear time. You know, every moment is a universe, infinite when lived fully. And so, you live differently now. You move slower. You listen deeper. You speak only when it serves peace. The Stoics believed in eudaimonia, a life lived in harmony with virtue, with reason, with nature, not happiness as pleasure, but happiness as alignment, the quiet satisfaction of living as the soul intended. And so you ask yourself, each morning, what would my highest self do today? Not the self that craves comfort, but the self that honors truth. You begin to notice how often the mind lies, how often it invents suffering. From things that never happened, Seneca warned, there are more things to alarm us than to harm us, and we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. You see now, most of your pain was the shadow of thought, not the thing itself, and so you learn to question it, to watch the mind as it speaks, but not obey it. You breathe, and in that breath, you find distance, you find choice. One day you will realize that everything you have been searching for was never somewhere else. It was never hidden in the stars or buried in the noise of the world. It was inside you, quiet, waiting. It waited while you ran, while you broke, while you bled, while you tried to become everything the world told you to be. It watched you fall in love with illusions and lose yourself to them. It waited patiently, as all truth does, until you were ready to return. And when you finally come home to yourself, you will not need to announce it. The peace in your eyes will speak for you. The calm in your voice will reveal it. The steadiness in your step will tell the story of someone who has walked through fire and learned to dance in its light. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look well into yourself. There is a source of strength, which will always spring up if you will always look. This is the secret. The strength you've been chasing was never lost. It was only sleeping beneath your fear, and now you have woken it. There will come a moment, perhaps in stillness, perhaps in sorrow, when you understand the universe owes you nothing, and yet it has given you everything. The air, the sun, the chance to try again, the pain that refines you, the love that teaches you, the ending that sets you free. And you will whisper, not with bitterness, but with reverence, I understand. Because understanding is the final form of peace. The Stoics knew this. They did not seek to escape life's weight, but to bear it with grace. They did not resist the natural order. They bowed to it, not in defeat, but in wisdom. They understood that the river of existence flows as it must, and that peace is found, not in stopping the current, but in learning to float. You are floating now, not because you have given up, but because you have given in to what is real. You do not cling to what must pass. You do not curse what must come. You trust the flow. Epictetus said, don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well. That is the essence of freedom. To accept, to align, to allow. The modern world resists this. It tells you to control, to dominate, to manipulate life into your image. But the Stoic knows, control is illusion, only response is real. And so you respond with calm, with courage, with kindness. Every act of kindness, every moment of courage, every quiet choice of love echoes beyond time. And so you continue, not with fear, but with reverence. You walk slowly now, you speak less, you feel more. You begin to live as though each moment were a prayer, each breath a sacred vow, to live justly, to speak truthfully, to forgive quickly, to love deeply. Seneca said, as long as you live, keep learning how to live. And you are still learning. Every sunrise, every scar, every tear is a lesson. You are not behind. You are exactly where you are meant to be. There is no timeline for awakening. The soul blooms in its own season, And one day, perhaps without even noticing, you will wake up and realize that peace no longer feels distant. It lives in you now. You will see yourself as you are, flawed, but whole, wounded, but wise, imperfect, but free. And you will understand that every version of you that once hurt, that once failed, that once doubted, was necessary. Because without the fall, there is no rise. Without the wound, no healing. Without the darkness, no light. You will look back on your pain, not with anger, but with gratitude. For it showed you the truth. You are more powerful than you imagined. And the world, for all its cruelty, was your greatest teacher. So walk on, not as a victim, but as a vessel of wisdom. Do not wait for the world to be kind. Be kind anyway. Do not wait for certainty. Act anyway. Do not wait for peace. Be peace, because everything you seek already exists within you. Marcus once reflected, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. So think bravely, think beautifully, think truthfully. For thought becomes word, word becomes action, action becomes destiny. And destiny is not written in the stars, it is written in your choices. So choose courage, choose wisdom, choose love. And when your final day arrives, when your breath grows slow and steady, you will not tremble. You will not beg for more time. You will smile, knowing you have lived with honor. Because the Stoics' goal was never to escape death, but to live so well that death finds no fault in how they lived. And so will you. The pain you endured will not be wasted. The tears you shed will not be forgotten. They will have forged something eternal, a spirit unbreakable. You have become the calm in the storm, the flame in the darkness, the stillness within chaos. And in that stillness, you finally hear it, the quiet voice beneath all noise. It says, you have done well. You close your eyes, you breathe. And for the first time in a long time, you feel whole. And when you finally sit with that silence, without fleeing, you will find peace. Because peace was never absence of noise, it was the acceptance of it. You will start to see beauty again, in the simple things, the morning light, slipping through the curtain, the way the wind moves the leaves, the sound of your own breathing. You begin to live slower, deeper, truer. You stop rushing toward meaning. You start creating it. You realize that your purpose was never hidden in the world. It was always in how you face it. When Marcus wrote, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, he meant that every moment is an opportunity to choose your shade. Will you color your life with bitterness or with gratitude? With fear or with courage? Because in the end, your life is not defined by what happens, but by how you interpret it. The same rain that drowns one man nourishes another. The same fire that burns can forge. When you begin to understand this, you become unstoppable. Not because you are invincible, but because nothing can take your peace. You stop seeking comfort. You start seeking truth. You stop running from the storm. You walk into it, head high, eyes steady, heart unshaken. That is the mark of one who has seen, one who has died to fear and been reborn in understanding. You begin to feel something you haven't felt in years. Freedom, not the freedom of the world, not the kind that depends on wealth or approval, but the freedom of the soul, the quiet knowing that no matter what happens, you are enough. The world could collapse, you could lose everything, and still, you would stand, because you have built your foundation, not on what can be taken, but on what cannot be broken. Virtue, discipline, grace. Those are the pillars of the Stoic spirit, and you begin to understand why the ancient philosophers smiled at death, because they had already died to everything false. They no longer clung to the illusion of control. They no longer needed to win. They no longer feared the end, because they were living fully in the present. You realize now, that is true immortality, not living forever, but living so deeply that even death cannot erase you. There comes a time when silence feels heavier than words, when you no longer need to shout your victories or explain your pain. You simply breathe, and that itself becomes enough. The noise of the world fades. Its demands, its judgments, its illusions, they no longer command you, because now you see, the only battle worth fighting was always the one within. Marcus Aurelius said, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. Mortality, the most honest teacher. We live as if we will live forever. We postpone peace. We postpone love. We postpone ourselves, but the Stoics remind us, memento mori, remember you will die, not to fear it, but to wake up. Each sunrise is not a promise, it is a mercy. Each breath, a gift. So live not as though you had 1,000 years ahead, but as though this very dawn were your last. Speak what must be spoken. Forgive what weighs you down. Do what makes the soul luminous. Because life does not wait for the ready. It moves, and you must move with it. There was a time when you measured your worth by how much the world saw you, by applause, by recognition, by belonging. But now, you understand. The truest measure of worth is how much you remain yourself when no one is watching. The Stoic walks unseen, not because he hides, but because he needs no audience. He carries the universe within. He walks with death beside him, and yet his heart is calm. He knows every breath could be his last, and so every breath is sacred. Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." How many moments have we lost? To worry, to anger, to the endless pursuit of more? We chase tomorrow, forgetting that tomorrow has never been guaranteed. And when death finally knocks, it will not care how rich we were, how admired, how safe. It will only ask, did you live? Did you love fully, knowing love could be taken? Did you forgive, even when you had every reason not to? Did you face yourself in the quiet hours when no one else could? To live well is not to avoid death. It is to walk beside it, unafraid. Epictetus taught that everything given is only on loan. The people you love, the body you inhabit, the time you spend, all borrowed, all destined to return. So hold nothing too tightly. Love deeply, but without ownership. Give, but do not demand. Let go, but without bitterness. Because clinging turns love into fear, and fear turns the soul rigid. Let it flow. Let it breathe. Let it go. You will lose many things in this life. People, dreams, moments, but you will never lose what you have truly understood. Wisdom does not leave you. It becomes you. There will be nights when loneliness curls around your ribs and silence feels infinite. You will look for something, someone, to make it stop. But remember, loneliness is not your enemy. It is your mirror. It shows you the parts of yourself you have ignored. It strips you bare, so you can finally meet the person you have been avoiding, yourself. And that freedom begins when you stop resisting reality. The world is neither good nor bad, it simply is. It moves as it must. The sun rises, the rain falls. People come, people go. You breathe in, you breathe out, and life continues. Accept this rhythm, and you will find stillness, even in the storm. Marcus wrote, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. So guard your thoughts as you would guard your soul. They are the architects of your destiny." When you look into the mirror tomorrow, you will see not what you were, but what you've become. A soul refined by fire, a being tempered by loss. And you will smile, not because it's over, but because you survived. And maybe that's the greatest victory of all. To endure, to remain kind, to still believe in goodness. After everything you've seen, Seneca wrote, "He who has learned to suffer has learned to live, so suffer well. Let it shape you, not shatter you. Let it carve wisdom into your bones. You will discover that every pain was a message, every loss a direction, every ending a beginning. And someday when the noise fades, when your heart beats steady again, you will understand. Peace was never somewhere out there. It was always within you, waiting to be uncovered. By silence, by surrender, by strength." The Stoics called it ataraxia, tranquility of the soul, unmoved by chaos, untouched by fortune or misfortune. That is your destination. Not fame, not wealth, not even happiness, but peace. The quiet knowing that nothing external can disturb what is whole within. So live deliberately, speak less, listen more, act with virtue, love without possession, give without expectation. And when the world forgets you, remember yourself. When they mock your calm, smile softly, for they do not yet understand what freedom truly is. You have walked through darkness and found the light inside it. You have fallen and risen stronger. You have faced the storm and discovered you were the storm. You no longer chase meaning, you embody it. And that is the quiet revolution of a Stoic heart. You were not born to escape pain. You were born to transcend it, to turn suffering into strength, and strength into serenity. And one day, when the world grows quiet again, and you stand beneath the open sky, you will realize you have become everything you were seeking. You will stand there, calm, unshaken, free.